Hello, my power plant positivity friends. It's Jason Wange here in Denver, Colorado with your power plant positivity tip number 25. Keep those dreams. You know, we all have dreams in our life, and some of us are far down the road on creating those dreams. We've been working on them for some time. Some of us, it's just an idea in our head in terms of a relational dream for us, or a career dream, a financial dream for what our future might look like, or maybe it's a physical and health dream for our bodies and our fitness. We all have dreams, visions of what we want to become. And during times of challenge, it's easy to want to say, you know what, it's too big. Let me just work on getting through the basics right now and toss those dreams aside. It is so important that you continue to pursue that dream, that vision of your best self, that goal that you've had. And I'm reading a book right now, I'm almost finished, by a guy named Brendon Burchard. It's called High Performance Habits. And he studies high performers. That's what he does for a living. He's an incredible guy. And the first trait of high performing people is they have a future vision of themselves that they're working toward. And he says with no future vision of yourself in your life, it decreases the amount of energy you have because there's not something you're working toward. So right now in this time of challenge, I want to make sure that you keep that dream. Hold on to it. Keep it somewhere, whether you're taking baby steps or you're jumping leaps and bounds to make it reality. Don't give up on it. Now, yesterday we talked about the power of story and how story is so impactful in terms of creating momentum in us, in teaching us that anything is possible. And I thought I'd tell you real quickly a story about keeping your dreams alive. It's about Sylvester Stallone. I grew up just outside of Philadelphia, and so as kids, Rocky was a big movie to us. We used to run up the steps of the Philadelphia Art Museum, which were the steps that Rocky ran up in the movie. And it was just a few years ago that I really learned about Sylvester Stallone's story, which is absolutely fascinating. You see, he is a totally fascinating character his dream was to become an actor. That's how he wanted to make his difference in the world. But because his face is a little bit crooked, he's got that kind of a unique draw or accent in his voice that doesn't make him sound super sophisticated just at first glance. And so he kept going to agents over and over again to get an acting job, and all of them turned him down. His first acting job he got was because he went to an agent, the agent said no, went home for the night. Sylvester Stallone stayed at the building overnight, slept there overnight. When the agent came back the next morning, he was there and he said, oh my gosh, come in. And he got him a job. His first job, acting job, was a small role as like a thug in a movie. And he kept getting rejected over and over and over. He was married at the time. They were starving. He couldn't pay for heat in the apartment. At times he used to go to the local library just to stay warm. And he didn't really want to get a normal job because he didn't want to kill that hunger, that quench for fulfilling his dream. So he couldn't get an acting job. So he said, you know what, maybe I can get into the movies through writing. So he began writing different things. And he finally got paid $100 for a movie it was called Paradise Alley, $100, which I'm sure he spent, fairly quickly. He was so broke that he actually ended up hawking his wife's jewelry, which I think is what ended their relationship. And like the one thing he still loved was his dog. He was so just desperate to keep his dream alive and feed himself that on the lowest of his days, he actually went down to the local liquor store and sold his dog. He was trying to sell his dog for $50. Someone said, I'll give you 25. So he sold his dog. And a few weeks later, he was watching a Muhammad Ali boxing match. And Muhammad Ali was an underdog, and he came and knocked the champ out. And Sylvester Stallone had always believed just in this idea of a man who could stand up to life, take a shot, and maybe go the distance. He said, it's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. So it was right after watching that fight, he wrote Rocky in 24 hours. He just cranked it, knocked it out. And he met some guys he went and found some agents who read the story, people who make movies, and they loved it. And they said, oh my gosh, we love this. We are going to pay you $125,000 and we'll make this movie. And he said, okay, great, wonderful. I mean, that was beyond any dream he'd ever had. And he said, here's the deal. I need to be the lead actor. And they said, no, look at you, listen to you. You're not a lead actor in Hollywood. And he said, fine, I'll take it with me. And he left. They kept going back and forth. They ended up offering $250,000. He said, if I'm the actor, they said, not a chance. All the way up till they offered him $360,000 to buy Rocky from him. And he said no because they didn't want him to be the actor. So what they ended up doing was saying, all right, man, they eventually caved. They said, we'll pay you $35,000. You can be the lead actor. And if the movie does anything, we'll give you some points in the profit. So if it does well, you'll make money. If it doesn't do well, you won't make anything. Well, Rocky went on to gross $200 million in sales. And it changed his life. So a couple weeks after he sold it, he went back and he said, I just need my dog back. Want this dog back. So he went back to the liquor store where he sold the dog, thinking that maybe he would see that man again and who would walk up. He went back for 3 days straight, and finally the man came. Man came and he said, hey man, you bought my dog like a month and a half ago. And the guy said, yeah, I remember. And he said, I'd like to buy my dog back. I was completely broke, down on my luck. And I know I sold him to you for 25. I'd like to buy him back for $100. And the guy says, no. And he's like, what? He says, no, he's my dog now. He says, okay, I'll give you $500. Nope. $1,000. The guy still refused. End of the day, Sylvester Stallone was getting that dog back. So he ended up paying the man $15,000 and a part in Rocky. So the guy actually has a small part in Rocky. And by the way, Sylvester Stallone's dog that he bought back is in Rocky too. So the point is, no matter how hard things are right now, it is your dream that will keep you moving forward. It's having this future vision of what your ideal life looks like, the way you can most contribute that gets you up in the morning to keep you going. So whatever you do, don't drop that dream. Don't let it die. Let it continue and fight on. And hopefully this was a story to keep you going. Remember, you've got this, my friend. We're all in it together, and we've got it together. Have a great day.